with the struggles we've been having with the weather lately. And just thought I'd show you something that I've got to do every morning. And the drinkers are frozen solid, so we've got to come down, put some hot water in. This is a daily thing at this time of year. Drinkers up the top shed and all. What I do is I leave them, I pour boiling hot water on them, usually out the kettle, and then that's it. He'd already done. These ones are still a bit freezing. They look a little bit dirty, but it's basically, it was shavings and shite on top of the frozen block. These ones are out the fantail shed. The fantails like to knock the top off and shit on it, one bird in particular. With the temperatures being -5 and a couple of inches of snow, that's what we've got to do. I mean, the skies is lovely, but temperatures is freezing. So this takes up an extra 5 minutes to 10 minutes every day. Another thing what we start to do, I take all the food out every morning that's left in the drinkers. Sorry, in the food troughs. That gets poured out, and this is the corn that we'll be getting today. This has had wheat germ oil put on last night, and B6 and B12 powder mixed in with it, and a little teeny weeny little bit of vitamin E powder. This is me mix I'll give them with the oils on now. Exhibit fertility, helps with the fertility. I'll give them this about 2 or 3 times a week, usually for a couple of months. We've got a few start laying. I mean, there's no Bacaras laid yet, but I mean, I've got a pair of Jacobins that's laid, although these are just racing eggs. I took the eggs out of there and put them in here, so she's sitting on a pair of Jacobin eggs. There's another red hen there, she's laid last night. These are Canadian imports from Canada, from Clint Robinson. There's another pair here. There's a black cock, I think that's the cock, black cock, and a daughter. This is a daughter from him. Not the best time of year to look at Doc Jacobins, but anyway, that's another pair I've got going. And then I've got another pair, obviously the red cock, sorry, the red hen, made on this strawberry cock. That's a son, so that's a mother and son pairing. Everything else is, you can see some of the feeders that set away had started to lay, so luckily we're leaving me sitters a week before I put the nest balls in for them. These pairs I always get away early. These are my star pairs, which I've got at the top. So this pair here, she's on 2 eggs, but I've got nothing to put under her. This pair's laid, and obviously she can take that pair of jack eggs I've just showed her up the top. Everything else is pretty much just chilling. D-Roy Cox found his favourite place. He always likes to take his hens up on top of here, and this is where he does all his treading. He doesn't mate them on the floor. He flies up here, and 9 times out of 10 his hens can't fly up on there. He can. So what I do is I have to pick the hen up and put the hen on, and then what'll happen is he'll usually spend a bit of time with her up there. His hen's down here, this tea pattern, dark tea pattern check hen. So I have to put her up there, and he'll now do a little bit of a dance and a little bit of courtship, and hopefully he'll trail her on there. So this is the leftover food from yesterday. So it's in every day. Every day the troughs is emptied. And today's rations put in for them. And that goes the same as with the pairs that's locked up in the nest boxes. So they all get their ration. Like I say, I don't feed them too much when I've got them locked up in here. They can get a bit too fat. So really should be thinking about thinning the diet down a little bit, but I don't like to change the corn. I feed them this 365 days of the year. I never change from it. I just add other things and take things away. But every single one of them it's nice and clean it up, and there's rations in. Always amazes us when you look at the pots, when you have pairs locked up in nest boxes. Amazing what some eat and what some don't eat. Now this pair here is obviously leaving all the peas, every single pea that's in the mix is getting left behind. They're only eating the seeds out of it. So they're just going to eat everything there that's seed wise. The seed that I have left over, this is the waste seed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There's a bit of sawdust and a bit of crap in it, but you know, I'll feed feeders on this. It won't get wasted. Someone else will eat it. Using my feeders. Now I won't give this to my feeders when they've got youngsters or anything like that, but overwintering them or anything like that at the moment, this time of year and that, feeders will get that. One thing that does amaze us about Bucaras, even though you've got a trough and you put the feed in there, they'll still scrat off the floor like chickens. I mean, amazes us. Like, they've always been like this. Breed so sophisticated and so elaborated and evolved feather-wise, still scratch off the floor. It's very few breeds I've ever had that's ever did this, but Bucaras still will. Not something I advocate doing, like, but usually what happens is when I feed the feeders I've got locked up in here, they'll kick food out on the floor, and these inevitably will always pick it up. And that's them now unfrozen, fresh water. What I didn't say, the boiling water that I use to put on them, I always put a bit of vanadine in as well, so it gives them a bit of sterilising while I'm on. I've got some in a bucket here. I'll sort them out now. My feet's getting a little bit cold. It's -5. I usually use 20 litres of water every day, but if I'm medicating, they won't get very much. I'll only put a very small amount, so they'll drink it dry, and then later on this afternoon I'll come and I'll take this out and chuck it out. Same thing. These are some spare birds, mainly young birds and some old birds that I won't be using. Hens, I think there are only 3 cocks among these. The Jacobin is a spare hen, but I've got a white cock coming from Canada, so she'll be used on him. For drinkers that I only want to put a small amount of water in, I always tip them on the sides like this, so the water goes to one side so they can drink from the other side. It's just a little tip. Something else I thought I'd add on to this video. I'm not very happy with the droppings that's in the feeder loft, so after closer examination I've concluded that there's a bit of coccidiosis amongst them. So what I thought I'd do is I'd coccidiosis the whole of my feeder loft before I paired them up next week. It's delaying pairing, but I'm not that bothered. It might affect fertility in the feeders, but that doesn't bother us because obviously I don't keep the feeder eggs. So 50 mils of this Easy Cox, which is from Hyperdrug, It's for coccidiosis and pigeons and small birds. I've never used this one before. Don't usually use their products, but I've found it very difficult to get hold of any beer cocks at the moment, which is something I always use, but I do like to alternate. So I have used, the main active ingredient in this is amprolin. I've used amprolin before in powder form, but this is the first time I've used it in liquid. So they're going to get 7 days treatment of this coccidiosis mix. And last thing we do before I finish for the day is make up tomorrow's wheat germ. This is just unrefined wheat germ oil that I got off eBay for £7. And then this will be mixed up fairly. And left to soak till tomorrow. And you see, I've did a video on this in the past, so this is nothing new. Right, that's it. That's just to show you what I do daily. So that's my morning, from 6 in the morning till 10. And I'll be back out there in about an hour's time, 2 hours time, just to check to make sure everything's alright. Take all the troughs out and repeat. That's just a little insight in the view of some things that I do on a daily basis this time of year. Winter, and the fun's all still got to come. So until next time, see you later. Oh, just before I go, I would like to say thank you to everybody who's took the time to subscribe. We've hit the 1,000+ subscribers. I'm really happy about that. It's a nice thing to happen. So thank you again. Until next time, see you later. Bye.